And we are back having a conversation with former North Carolina Chief Justice Henry Frye. And we're talking about all the things that sometimes make us cringe when it comes to talking about protests and violence. And we're talking about police brutality. We're talking about all of it today. And you're sharing your wisdom with us, and we appreciate that.
Well, thank you for thinking that I have some wisdom.
So much so. All right, we talked about Black Lives Matter, and then when people counter with All Lives Matter.
Yes.
Now I want to talk about something else that we see posted very often. So often we see people writing, your silence is just as bad as violence, or your silence is compliance for those who are not speaking out. Tell us why that is.
I don't always agree that that is correct. Many times it is. On some issues, you are in a position where you can speak out and say whatever you want to. But there are some situations where you can't do that. That's one exception, so to speak. And there are times when people say things that one person takes one way and the other person takes the other way. So I hear you saying one thing, another person hears you meaning or saying something different. So I'm a little slow about just having flat rules that, this is it, So I'm trying to explain that because some people's expressions, some people don't express themselves well. They overstate something.
Well, let's talk about that, because I do think that the Black community is wanting other communities to stand with them.
Yes.
And so they're saying, if you're quiet on this, then you're saying it's okay if this police brutality happens. And so I think that a lot of other communities are then saying, okay, so what should I do to help this cause? What can I say to help this cause?
Yes. But let me say that in one instance, I was told by somebody that I wasn't in the movement. Why don't you get in the movement? I said, young man, how much time do you have? And I went through the things that I had done that he didn't know about. He didn't know that I've been talking to the chief of police. I've been talking to the mayor of the city. I've been talking to other people who could do something about it. Now, I didn't broadcast that and had no intentions of telling anybody that that's what I was doing. But that's what I was doing. And I think that helped just as much as his marching down the street. You follow me?
You're saying everybody do what you can do.
Do what you can do. See, some of them can't get to the mayor unless he's yelling. See, I could get to him by offering him, taking him out to lunch, dinner, go to his office, invite him to my home, or whatever, and talk with him and ask him, what can we do about this thing? And while I'm on it, I better just tell you about this because it was sort of a development to me in my many years ago. I invited a group of people to our house in the basement for dinner. And it was a mixed group, white and black. And one of them, in particular, a very prosperous businessman, he said, Henry, this is the first time a black person has ever invited me to his house for dinner. Well, that had never hit me. I never thought about that, you see? So people who are interested in making a positive difference can make a difference, but you make it in your own way, right? And so that's
and that connection you made at home, from neighbors, from community,
Right. So we were fortunate enough to have a basement, and so we invited a group of leaders, black and white, and maybe one Indian, I believe, and we sat around. We had Shirley fix the dinner for us and everything, and we sat around talking about what can we do?
And maybe that is something that we all need to do, is sit around with those in our community and talk about what we need to do.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
the conversation needs to
But do
begin.
it in your own way. You see?
Some people you're saying it's okay for you to protest, and some people you're saying it's okay for you to invite your neighbors over for dinner and talk about it. And whatever way it is, some people it's okay because they have the ear of the mayor.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And everybody has a role, and everybody can help. But find out where you can help, and then do that if it's helping for good.
Yes. Okay. We're going to be talking about the protests in particular when we come back. We'll be right back.